Hello. Today's video is about abdominal training. And so many of us, so many of our patients we see tell us that they're doing crunches. We hate to ever talk anybody out of exercises that they're doing, but I want to explain to you why crunches are not a particularly good idea and some of the way better alternatives for getting your abdominal muscles to do what you really want them to do. First off, let's make sure we all agree that you cannot take fat off your belly with crunches. Crunches and abdominal exercises do not reduce fat around your middle. Fat, where we put fat in our bodies, we have a certain amount of fat in our bodies, and where we place it is pretty much a genetic thing. So you can lower your whole body fat level by exercising and diet, and don't want to get into all that. But you can't spot reduce. You can't exercise this area to take fat off of this area. It doesn't work that way. But there's still lots of good reasons to have for exercising abdominal muscles, even if they're not going to take fat off of our bellies. And I often introduce this idea by telling a little story about my daughter, who has a really sweet dog. And she's a very good dog owner. She took good care of her dog when the dog was small. She taught her some really cool tricks. Her dog could sit and roll over and all that. And she had this a little upsetting in some ways, but a fairly cute trick that the dog would do. She'd go bang, bang, and the dog would lay down on its side and go, oh, 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 lie down on its side and play dead, and then she would give it a treat. And I thought that was great, that she spent the time training the dog, but then the dog, when we took the dog out for a walk or to the beach, the dog wouldn't come when she called it. So I kind of looked at that and thought, well, great, you got the dog that does this silly, useless trick, but you never taught it to do what you want the dog to really do. Doing crunches is very much the same thing. Anytime a human being moves, if I move my arm out to the side, I am using muscles to create movement, move my arm, and I'm using muscles to hold things still. Because if I didn't hold things still here, I'd fall over this way from the weight of my arm. Follow? So we're generating movement, we're stopping or controlling movement. And there are muscles that are designed to do each. Abdominal muscles' job in the big picture of things is not to generate movement. Think about it. Think about a crunch. When in real life do you go grab a hold of something and try to pull it down by bending your back? That would be a terrible thing to be doing in real life. What your abdominal muscles are supposed to do is, if you need to lift something like this ball, we want abdominal muscles to lock our spine down, hold it perfectly still while we bend down, bending knees, bending hips, bending the parts of us that are made to bend, and then it's going to keep that spine still as we come back up again. So abdominal muscles, when they work properly, are controlling or stopping movement from taking place. They're not generating movement. And what's a crunch? A crunch is getting your abdominal muscles to take your back from good alignment to terrible alignment, good alignment to terrible alignment, good alignment to terrible alignment. It's the last thing you'd ever want to teach your muscles to do. Teach them that, okay, when there's stress or a load, your job is to immediately pull me into bad alignment. No, no, no. We want those abdominal muscles to learn to do the useful trick, which is to restrict or stop movement. So, the exercise we prefer for that is a plank. I mean, now you can do a simple plank like this on the floor, and this is actually a good exercise, although for most people who have decent abdominal tone or function, they're not going to get much of a workout from this. But if you walk your hands forward and walk your hands back, I'm running out of room here, I can walk my hands a little further forward, that can get to be a pretty intense stress and a good workout for abdominal muscles. I really like planks on a ball like this, because now my abdominal muscles have to resist gravity, which wants to pull me down like this, but they also have to compensate for the little wobbles of the ball, which makes the exercise even more effective. And I'm going to catch my breath a second so that I can continue talking, but tell you that if that becomes easy, which again for a lot of people with good abdominal, who've done a lot of abdominal training, that's not particularly hard, but if you were then get in that position and roll your elbows forward and bring them back, you can probably tell by the way my voice tightens up when my elbows get out there. That's a very difficult exercise. You can get a fabulous burn in your abdominal muscles and get as good an abdominal workout that way as you can by doing 200 crunches, but the most important thing is you'll be teaching your abdominal muscles to do what they're supposed to do. You won't be teaching them a silly trick that really has no good use in real life. Thanks.